America, the land of the free and the home of the brave, known for our purple mountains' majesty and our spacious skies, but known even more so for our amber waves of grain. And not to mention our fruited plains, like those shown here at the Mill Creek Urban Farm in West Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, located at 49th and Brown Street. But who's behind all of this? Why, it's the farmers of America. You know it, you love it, heck, you're surrounded by it. Come to think of it, isn't America the most obese country in the world? I mean, look at the graphs. Obesity is growing and growing and growing. What in the world is going on? Yes, America is obese. 34% of adults aged 20 years or older are obese. 18% of adolescents aged 12 to 19 are obese. And a daunting 10% of children aged 2 to 5 years old are obese. Now, these statistics make it seem like obesity should be our #1 issue, right? Sadly, this is terribly wrong.
Nearly 1 out of every 4 kids in this country does not get enough food to live active, healthy lives, and unfortunately, the numbers are climbing.
And you thought all we had to worry about was getting too fat. So let's get this straight. Our country was built on the values of abundance and agriculture, and we've definitely got the obesity to show for it. But still, 1 in 4 kids is going to bed hungry every single night. That's 17 million children. What is going on? The underlying cause of hunger in our community is something called food insecurity. It's when people can't get the food they need because they can't access it or they can't afford it. It causes perpetuation of the poverty cycle. When children don't get the food they need to develop, they do poorly in school, and consequently don't get the jobs they need to support themselves in adulthood.
I mean, guys, we are talking about 1 in 4 children, almost 1 in 4 children in this country. 17 million children go to bed hungry. They have food insecurity. They don't know when their next meal is going to be, what their next meal is going to be. It's a really frightening concept for a kid. And the idea that this has happening in America, and it's not just homeless kids, not just kids living in rural or the inner cities. This is happening all across the country.
A huge factor contributing to the issue of hunger across America is the lack of access to healthy food. In areas where the only options for grocery shopping are corner stores, people are forced to make unhealthy decisions for themselves and their families. Let's look at a map of Philadelphia. Here is a map of University City, a popular area full of college students and upcoming hipsters. All of the red dots mark various grocery stores. Fresh Grocer, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, your top-of-the-line produce, accessible to all. Here's another map of Philadelphia, but this time we are looking at Northern Liberties and Fishtown, far from the posh familiarities of University City. Looks a little different, doesn't it? In the poorer outskirts of Philadelphia, is nutrition less important? These maps would make it seem that way. Why do these disparities exist? Has anyone noticed? Is anyone doing anything? There are organizations in place with the goals of fighting hunger with healthy foods, such as Philabundance, the Delaware Valley's largest hunger relief organization. They work with the food industry, farms, and local communities to acquire food, which they distribute from their warehouses as well as from traveling farmers markets. They also work with local grocery stores to prevent the waste of food and the unnecessary filling of landfills, while giving food to those who need it. Philabundance even conducts a food helpline for those in need of emergency food delivery. These are only a few of Philabundance's many programs. Another initiative in the fight against hunger is Drexel University's GROW Project, which helps low-income children and their families achieve normal weight gain, good nutrition, and proper development through service, research, and advocacy. Their long-term goal is, quote, to improve the system of care related to poor nutrition and health for children and their families. The GROW Project seems to be more focused on the health aspect of those suffering from food insecurity. To find out more, I spoke with Dr. Mariana Chilton, a professor at Drexel's School of Public Health, who started the GROW program. She spoke about monitoring children in hospitals who have fallen off the growth chart and are categorized with failure to thrive. These children are referred to the GROW Clinic and followed by physicians there. Their families are given aid and a plan to improve nutrition and promote growth. It seems like there is a lot being done about this hunger issue. However, the statistic of 1 in 4 children going to bed hungry every night is not from some faraway era, it's from today. Philabundance focuses on getting food to those who are already hungry, and the GROW project focuses on treating those who are suffering. But there's a little bit of a disconnect. What if someone started at the source? What if you started before someone was hungry, before your child developed bad eating habits, before they fell off the growth chart? What if? How? It would take education about healthy lifestyles, a central location and easy access, and a plausible and preferably environmentally friendly solution. Is it possible? Joe is one of the head staff at the Mill Creek Urban Farm in West Philadelphia. The farm serves as a community garden as well as a supplier of farmers markets and produce stands in the area. The farm's mission is to create a source of accessible and healthy food for the neighborhood while also fostering a sense of community. A group of Baldwin girls helped out at the Mill Creek Urban Farm for Service Day, and while we were there, Joe told us a lot about how the farm fights food insecurity in the area.
Yeah. What do you do with the food that you make? Do you give it to like the community, or do you sell it, or what do you do? Great question. So, we have sort of two main purposes here. You don't usually think of a farm in the city. So, part of our goal is about food distribution, which is what you're asking about, and part of it is about education. So, I'll talk about the distribution first, since you're asking. This neighborhood is something that's sometimes referred to as a food desert. So this is a very low-income neighborhood. It is predominantly African-American, and there's no grocery stores here. So people's food options are pretty limited. There's fast food, like you said. There's a lot of corner stores, which, what kind of food do corner stores usually have?
Chips.
Chips, processed food, soda, junk, right? Yeah. Not a lot of fresh produce. Sometimes they'll have a little bit of fresh produce. If they do, it tends to be lower quality and higher price than you might find in a grocery store. And this is a problem not just in inner city communities, but also in rural communities. Any place that supermarkets don't want to invest in opening stores have really been affected by lack of access to good food, and as a result, higher rates of heart disease, diabetes, obesity, health problems associated with diet. So there's been a lot of attention recently to childhood obesity, and Michelle Obama has brought a lot of attention to it. So there are some programs now to help stores open up in lower income areas, and also to help grocery stores open up in lower income areas, and also to help corner stores get healthier food into those locations that already exist. You mentioned also about the tension between store owners and the community. Sometimes the owners of those stores aren't from the community, so they may not have as much interest in providing good options as opposed to just running their business. So that is definitely an issue. That's really important, because what kind of food do food cupboards usually get? Canned, yeah, right? They want non-perishable items because they don't want stuff that's going to rot if it sits around. But that means that people who are relying on food cupboards for their food supply aren't getting as much fresh produce, which has the most nutrients. So we want to make sure that even people who can't afford to buy fresh produce are going to be able to get it. So we like to donate to the food cupboard. I'll say a little bit more about the education programs. We do all different kinds of things. We have groups come like you all today, come for a tour, do work in the field. We work with pre-K all the way up through graduate school. Professional groups come on tours for conferences. We have an internship program for high school students in the summertime. We also have a workshop series where we'll have guests come in and teach about compost or canning or different things that people are interested in learning about. Beekeeping we've done. A big part of our education program is our physical infrastructure here at the farm. We wanted to use our building as part of what we're teaching and demonstrating about how to live in the city in a way that is a little bit more conscious of our environment and the resources that we use kind of in our everyday lives.
I would assume, like, do you have a good relationship with the people that come here?
Yeah, so when we started, it was really important for us to keep in mind that they had been here for 30 years before we showed up on the scene, and to really respect that and not step on their toes or make them feel like we were trying to take over their land. It took time to get to know each other and build a relationship, but we were able to share with them. We got a water line put in when we started, which they had never had, so they were able to have water access, and they got a new fence, and we share seeds and seedlings and the harvest, so we've really built a good relationship. It depends a lot on who you ask, and I think some people are concerned about it not being kept up as clean as they would want to see it, but people also want to complain about everything.
So here you are, an urban farm that educates and provides for their community. The Mill Creek Urban Farm is no miracle invention. It used to be just an empty lot that was turned into a living produce junction by people who wanted something better. So have we found a solution to the hunger problem? Have we found a way to reclaim the riches of our country? You didn't forget about the rolling waves of grain, did you? If we could turn every empty, ugly asphalt lot into a beautiful and abundant garden, imagine how many lives would benefit, how many communities would flourish. It's a start, and it would take a lot of work and organization. But don't all great things? Albert Camus once said, "All great deeds and all great thoughts have a ridiculous beginning." Just think of the possibilities.